Well, welcome everyone. And this is a really opportunity to have a very informal conversation. It's hard for me to chat when I'm doing the live webcast. So welcome. As I noted, if people can turn on their cameras, that just allows it for a more intimate opportunity to converse with everyone. And so in advance, I had one individual approach me in regards to regional brainstorming ideas. And I'm just seeing if they're actually made it to our chat room here. And that was Jane and Ahmed, actually.
Yeah,
are they on in here now? Jane, there you are.
Jane, yeah, Jane is here.
As
Pardon
well,
me.
So should be really great.
Good, thanks.
Excellent. So Jane brought an idea and wants to share it with the group. And then perhaps as we move through this, if there are other people that have some suggested ideas that we take a look at as a region, then start to put your name in the chat function so we can help in having the conversation. And if you're interested in asking a question, by all means, put the hands up. You have the tools at the bottom there with the reactions, and you can put your hand up there or just put your name in the chat. So Jane, do you want to talk a little about what the idea you had for us?
Okay, thank you. I see that Ahmed isn't on the list of participants. He may not have been able to make it. Ahmed Kadra, the owner of Kinda Electronics in Broadband, is kind of my partner with this idea. So I just want to give him his due.
So go ahead, Jane. Why don't you start us off? And and if he joins us, that'd be great.
So I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, please go ahead.
The idea is that on April 8th, 2024, there is a cosmic event that will happen over the Leeds Grenville area, and it's a total eclipse of the sun. We will be in the path of totality, which means that the sun will be completely obscured by the moon, and it's for a period of time. And of course, the website that I have with all that information. So just to review, so 870 days from now, there will be a total eclipse of the sun over a broad area, well, all of North America, but the total eclipse is in a narrow strip of 120 miles. So it starts at 10 p.m., sorry, 2:10 p.m. on April 8th, and its maximum totality is 3:24 p.m. and it ends at 4:25 p.m. So a duration of 2 hours, 24 minutes. So now some people will say April 8th, the weather isn't great on April 8th. Yes, 69% of the time there is cloud. So there's ways of mitigating that. I don't know. I think it's an opportunity. It's a positive, happy opportunity that can impact economic development, but also the partnerships throughout the community in various sectors. You just think of the education sector. If over the next number of years there's a target on the total eclipse, there's creative things in the art sector. Maybe someone will write a play, and it could be our version of Come From Away, only ours will be Come to the Total Eclipse, and it could be a long weekend event. So the eclipse is on a Monday, so it could be something that starts Friday night and with different activities. And I've attended several total eclipses, one in France and one in South Carolina, and I have observed how the local community was set up to celebrate this. And I can't emphasize enough what a positive influence it is with people that come from away. So I hope I
can you share what perhaps some of those local areas have done from a tourism? Because I know there's another place in Ontario that is considering this too.
Yes. Okay. So yes, already the Americans are calling it the American total eclipse. But guess what? It's in our part of Ontario and Quebec and further east too. Anyway, so what did I observe? I observed in France that they allowed people to gather on public lands, and actually people even tented in preparation for the total eclipse. But local coffee shop, just use your imagination. If there was a body of water in South Carolina, they had cruises that people could take and be out on the water to observe the eclipse from the water. Some from the ocean side, some from the rivers that were a part of the total eclipse. Already there are websites that are selling sweatshirts for the eclipse in 2024. So I guess there's just all kinds of possibilities. It could be a fun thing, have a sticker. Are you coming back for 2024, the total eclipse? Because we've already got a tourism component. Maybe people have not been coming for the last 2 years for obvious reasons, but this is a way of celebrating coming back and a happy, positive occasion for our area.
And is this something you and Ahmad are looking to bring a group together, or is that what you're thinking?
Well, what we would recommend to this group is that if we put together a task force and looked at the sectors of our region that could benefit from this, we would be happy to be a part of that. I know he has an idea of doing a presentation, I believe, with the engineers of Ontario to talk about it. And then there are astronomers, etc., that consider this location, a desirable location to set up their equipment and that. And if we make that knowledge that we're welcoming those people, that would be great. And again, you can see the ripple effects of education for kids. And I just can't emphasize the happiness and the joy, because that's one thing about the cosmos. It treats everyone equally. The total eclipse is over everybody, whether you're in the 98% or whether you're in the 2%. And I guess it's another opportunity to maybe get people together at a table that have difficulty in their communication, to organize around a positive event like that.
Fabulous.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, no, I think that's fabulous that, I caught it a little bit on the news. I understand it's the length of the eclipse is the largest in 6 centuries or decades, something like that.
That was the eclipse of the moon last night.
Was that last night? Okay, so there's too many eclipses going on.
Well, and that
every time I hear the
happens.
word eclipse, the music from the 80s, Total Eclipse of the Heart, I think comes back in my head. I know,
tell me. Yeah, exactly.
See, everybody's laughing too, because you know that song. So,
well, do you want me to sing it?
One of my favorites.
There we go.
Last night.
We'll serenade ourselves out of this room with that. How's that?
Well, thank you.
You had to grab a 2:30 last night to see that eclipse.
There we go.
2:30 to 4:30
right now. I can't remember what time it was. Anyway, so it's very exciting, and Ahmed and I have a lot of energy to contribute to this, and very positive energy. And so that's my recommendation, that there be consideration to set up a task force that includes the sectors that could benefit from this.
Okay, super. Well, thanks, Jane. I appreciate you sending me a little briefing note in advance so we could start off the conversation on that. Now, I know we've got a great group of talented individuals here and that are not short on thoughts and creativity. And so I want to open it up to others. And I know, George, if you were up late last night, you must have been thinking something that we need to do. And Miss Marie, I know you probably, Miss Marie White, I'm probably going to say that you have been getting lots of updates and getting things ready for the township of Rideau Lakes. And I know we've got a couple of mayors on here. So I'm going to throw it back out. Maybe we'll start with George. Marie, some comments out there, thoughts on ideas from the regional perspective that you would like, and for to bring it forward for a conversation. George?
I was just going to say I was up 2:30 to let the dog in. So
you want a dog day out is what you're telling me then? Alrighty. Marie, how are things going? Welcome. Congratulations on your new position at Township of Rio Lakes. Any thoughts of what's coming up your way that you think from a regional perspective would be great to be involved in?
Thank you, Anne, and hi, everybody. Yeah, I guess something I could throw out there is, we're looking next year at planning our next economic development strategy. So I always want to take into account what other folks are doing out there in our region and, think about collaboration and what we can do to sort of stack our efforts and meet our goals collectively. Some of the things we've been doing at the municipal level, I'm sure a lot of other municipalities are thinking about, and I just want to make sure that our new strategy aligns very well with the counties and the region. So if anyone has any ideas of what they're thinking about doing in the next couple of years, that would really help me out.
Fabulous. Well, I know we've got some of your neighboring municipalities here. Julia from Smith Falls, Darren from North Grenville and Kempville, and I thought I saw Lisa from LeBoat. Any strategies that you guys are working? And Heather's actually from North Grenville, new tourism coordinator there. Who could I turn this over to? Who can add what they're up to? Julia, fabulous.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So I'm Julia Crowder. I'm the manager of economic development with the town of Smith Falls. And something that we're doing this year, actually, we just launched is our BRNE local survey. So that's something that we're going to initiate this year and continue to do year over year. And that really helps gather our data and insights from our businesses. And I think that's something where you really need to start. You need to start with data and when you're looking at building a strategic plan. So our strategic plan will likely happen again once we get a new council, because we had a council strategic plan as well as an economic development and tourism strategic plan, which we're coming to the end of. So we'll kind of be in the same position next year, looking at doing a new 5-year plan moving forward.
Fabulous. And from North Grenville, do you guys want to jump in? Darren, Heather, I know you guys have got a lot of things going on. Darren, I see you're unmuted, and then we'll go to Heather.
Sure. Thanks, Anne. I know that because of the Kempville campus, we are very fortunate we have a fantastic asset there. And I know they've started working on finding some funding for different programming, particularly in the agriculture and food production areas. So we're excited about that, though that doesn't necessarily reflect us directly in the downtown, but I just think regionally there could be some tremendous opportunities created by some of that programming that the campus is looking into. And I'd love to know sort of from a county-wide perspectives, if there's a lot of opportunity in increasing and supporting local food production for the area. I feel like we've got some neighbors who are benefiting from some of the research that's been done over the past 5-6 years. And I feel like there's an opportunity for us there as well, sort of in partnership with what's happening at the campus. And I know for us as a community, and I hope I don't steal Heather's thunder here, next year is going to be a hoot in North Grenville.
I was waiting for someone to say something.
Oh my God. So just the sheer number of community events next year is pretty spectacular, but we are going to be hosting the International Plowing Match next September. So that could mean up to 80,000 people flooding into Kempville over 4 days. So that's huge. We've never hosted an event of that magnitude here before. So I'm fascinated to see how that's going to roll out. I know there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes right now. And I think there's a challenge there for our local business community is how do we take advantage of all these people coming into our community. We've also, of course, got the Kempville Live Music Festival, which I pray to God will actually happen next July. And I'm rather happy about, or excited about this little thing that I'm sitting beside, the Kempville Busker Fest next spring, first time event. So we got a lot going on. We're going to have a lot of people poking around North Grenville. So we got a lot of work to do, and there's some tremendous opportunities.
Fabulous. Heather, did you want to touch on it a little bit more? IPM,
Well, I
et
also
cetera?
was going to
Sorry,
shout-
Heather.
No, it's good. It's good. Kempville and North Grenville is going to be the place to be in 2022, 100%. You know, we've got the Return to Kempville Live, we've got the International Pie Match, we've got Busker Fest, we've got all sorts of other little events too. There's a new Lantern Festival, a lantern parade happening just this weekend and on Sunday in Oxford Mills. And just the energy in our community right now, the volunteers, the people, everybody's saying yes. Everybody's saying yes. They're all saying, let's collaborate, let's do great things. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm also looking to collaborate further out. I'm quite interested in talking about regional tourism trails and regional tourism routes, those types of things, because, you know, I'm looking at some of the things, like we've got a great route with, you know, we've got Saunders Country Critters and the winery. Like there's one route that just has all of these great things. And then it goes right into Spencerville. And I'm like, well, why are we stopping where we stop? We should be talking to Spencerville and making these proper routes, you know, and drawing people in from the bigger cities and coming through all of our little areas. So if anybody wants to talk about those types of things with me, I'm certainly interested in collaborating.
Well, fabulous. And I think, you know, I just want to go back to the IPM because we have hosted this in Leeds, Grenville. I think I want to say it was 2007-ish. It was when we last hosted it. And it is an opportunity to showcase this event. And with that many people coming to town, campgrounds, hotels, businesses, campgrounds and hotels, they'll be looking for places to stay in this region. And then from a business perspective, there'll be opportunities to be on site as well as to be having visitors pushed out to your businesses coming into this region. And often they'll do before, you know, get themselves settled in as this comes in, because if for those of you that haven't seen it come together before, it is like building a tiny city for a week. And Rideau Lakes hosted it last time, and with the counties, and this time North Grenville is starting to march forward on that. So, you know, this is going to impact all of us in the way of, you know, Smith Falls. So Julia, I would say that's something, and Rideau Lakes, you're going to want to put that and have be part of that collaboration. So I'll just leave it at that unless anybody else wants to jump in and add some more on the IPM. Okay. And just wanted to go back to Darren's comment on the food, and the counties is going forward and we'll be putting out an RFP shortly in regards to a tourism strategy. And certainly there's the food tourism perspective, but also, and I concur, in the way of other food development opportunities that is significant in this region. And if you didn't get a chance on the lunch break to capture those, our two chefs, you know, it just gives you a sense of the professionalism and the quality of the products that we have in this region. And that's a huge opportunity for us. So I see, Carolyn, you have your hand up, and now, was I passing it to anyone else after that? Just let me know. Carolyn, do you want to go ahead?
Hi. Yeah, just wanted to comment on the Township of Rideau Lakes working with the Cataraqui Conservation Authority. And in terms of tourism, they're working on the Cataraqui Trail. I'm on the Friends of the Cat Trail as a board member. So I hear the dialogue between the township and friends, and some of it from the Cataraqui Regional Conservation Authority. But anyhow, the township has taken on working with CRCA in terms of widening and clearing the trail. Last year in particular, so many problems with ticks and overgrown. There are people that we did a survey, and there are people that say, well, they'd like to have it overgrown. It's sort of like a trail, but it will eventually, you know, grow in to some extent. But what it's done is it's provided an excellent base for people that walk and bike. And of course, we have the people that are into the horseback riding as well. So it's been a really good partnership. Also, there is the bridge, the Iron Bridge, located in Chaffee's, and Councillor Joan Delaney, who's also on here, knows that that's going to have some work done on it as well. And so there, from the tourism point of view, the Cat Trail is 104 kilometers, Napanee to Smiths Falls. And I think it's about 48% or so of it runs through the township of Rita Lakes, and the other is South Frontenac. And so South Frontenac is just starting to get on board with getting involved as well. So there's really great initiative there with CRCA and the two municipalities. And it's for the good of, active transportation, the walking, the cycling. I also think the more signage we can get, I shouldn't say the more signage, but to somehow let people know where it is they're walking past or where they're near. Like, for instance, Portland, which is where I am, the trail's not that far off. There is a marking at one of the roads that goes onto the trail, and there are a few signs there, but I think that's something that will eventually come once the surfacing has been completed, and it looks great. People are happy. Like I said, there are some that like the bushy thing, but it will grow back to some extent, and it's still going to be a great trail for everybody. So I just wanted to share that and put that towards Heather in terms of regional tourism. I think this is going to be really add to it, and it's going to make more people come out. Actually, it's been so well used, unfortunately because of COVID, but people have had the opportunity to get out on the trail and to find out more about it. So I just wanted to share that with you today. Thanks.
Super. Thanks, Carolyn. And yes, trails, active transportation plans, counties is in the process of doing active transportation. Joan, was there something you wanted to add? I see you're unmuted, and Connor, I'm going to call you because you guys have been heavily involved in that as well. So in the way, the trails, and let's talk a little about your areas too. Joan, do you want to go ahead?
Oh, thanks, Anne. All I wanted to do was to tell Carolyn that the bridge is closed today because they're working on it. And what they're doing is replacing a deck that is so rotten you can see the water through holes in it. So it's a little scary, and it's needed this to be done. And thanks to some funding that we've recently received, the decking's being replaced today.
This is good. Seeing holes and water flowing underneath is not good. So.
No.
Yes, and that's part of the infrastructure. And I think that's a conversation, overall along the different aspects of trails. Parks Canada, that's been a big area for infrastructure support. Connor, can I turn to you? Because some people may not be familiar with you. So do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Connor Enough. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator for the town of Perth.
Good. And now you guys have been very active with the trails as well, correct?
Yeah, we've been trying to build a new trail along the Tay River. There is kind of a county trail right now that heads into the right alongside the river there. We're trying to extend it to connect more with our downtown and build a more cohesive sort of river path through the community. And then hopefully, one day the rail trails can really extend into Perth. But that is our focus right now, is trying to make that happen.
Excellent. And I know, Julia, your consultant is the same as our consultant for the active transportation, and we've talked a little bit about that. And I'm pretty sure, Connor, they've got the Perth information and the county information as well in how those trailways can be interconnected. Anything happening Perth-wise or your region that you're saying, hey, let's look at how we can partner better?
Yeah, I think we're really we kind of, one of the things we did right now is we're just wrapping up an employment land study. So, you know, we're really trying to, I think, figure out the best way to sell our industrial lands. We know some people have been very busy with that bit, but ours have sat for a very long time. So we're trying to figure out, you know, should we shift where they are? And I think I know me personally, definitely probably be reaching out for ideas, support on that to make those a little more successful with regards to that. And then another thing we're going to kind of keep continuing to do. I know a lot of people have tapped into Digital Main Street. I know there was a session on it, and the Digital Service Squad, I really think is something that we should all find a way to really just offer on an ongoing basis regionally for as long as we possibly can, because the response we've really got from those has been fantastic. And it's, I think, one of the best resources we've really had the ability to tap into in this area, and to show that small towns can be just as innovative and willing to embrace new trends as big cities. So.
Excellent. Yeah, I would concur. It's been a great program in Leeds Grenville. We made sure that everyone was connected, and I actually see Cindy Bolton on the line there with that was been heavily involved in it and previously, and did a great job in many of our municipalities. And I know Darren was heavily involved too. So it has been an awesome program, but we still have so far to go with our small businesses. Just changing the direction a little bit in the way of other areas that perhaps we need to consider as a region from, you know, from a regional perspective, that we could perhaps continue working together. I'm seeing Dana Valentine has joined us, and Sabi, I didn't know if you wanted to jump in here some point. You've got your camera on there, so maybe we'll go to Sabi, and then Dana, did you want to jump in too? Sabi?
Hi everybody. This has been such a great summit. So my interest, we built a retirement home back in 2011. So an exit from that. So I'm working now with a developer now, and on really just housing. And I was just writing down Connor's name eagerly because he was talking about industrial land in Perth. So we're looking at sites and different development options. So our focus is really on creating housing, also looking at affordable housing in terms of rental projects as well. And also creating one other dream of mine, which I still keep pushing on, is trying to create intergenerational living, which is really, really important. So that's really what our focus is on. So that's really what, and Leeds and Grenville will always be, it's my little baby, I call it. I feel very comfortable there. So it's an area that is very close to my heart. So that's really what my focus is.
Fabulous. Thanks, Sabi. And you've had some certainly amazing success over the years. And I know you're continuing down that same road in many of the projects that you're taking on. So glad you could join us today.
Thank you.
Dina from Prescott. And then just wondering, let's see, Allison, I see you've been on and off the camera, so I'm not sure if you'd like to join in the conversation, but let's start with Dana, and then perhaps we'll move it around to Lisa from LeBoat. Dana, do you want to, so just kind of what's happening in Prescott and some regional opportunities that we can collaborate or work together on, some thoughts?
Certainly. Thanks, Anna. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to the group. It's been a great session so far. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a vehicle breakdown and it caused delayed me to join, but it's what I've heard has been fantastic. So we're actually pretty excited. We're at a really great time right now. We're just coming to the end of a development of a new economic development strategy here in Prescott, as well as a joint economic development strategy and land needs analysis in tandem with the Township of Augusta. So it's identified a lot of joint opportunities for regional development and growth that I think we're pretty excited about moving forward with, as well as some local opportunities and priorities here for Prescott and some exciting actions that we can be pursuing over the next 1 to 5 years. And I think a lot of it does present opportunities for greater regional discussions. I would say, you know, some of the really big priorities coming out of that strategy for us that I think are well aligned with what other municipalities are doing is really keeping businesses top of mind. So is, you know, we're always going to be focused on the traditional business attraction, but we're also very focused on developing what we have, because we're seeing, you know, that's really where we're seeing the bulk of our growth of the community, and the synergies that are happening is coming from within. So initiatives like the Digital Main Street program, we've just recently applied to the Main Street Accelerator program in the hopes of acquiring a Main Street ambassador that would dovetail into the end of the Main Street program to really provide those supports for the local businesses and help them continue to grow and thrive, and also find synergies in when it comes to attracting new businesses to Prescott. And we also have some pretty exciting developments happening right now north of the 401 that I think are going to lend to some good regional discussions, as well as tourism. I think there's a lot of great opportunities that we're seeing coming out of this strategy. We've also addressed tourism as part of the economic development strategy. And we're seeing a lot of opportunities under the agritourism, ecotourism banner that I think that's such a great fit with the townships. You know, Prescott tends to be more of that urban hub, and can really be that supporting center for the things that are happening in the townships, as well as a way to harness those wonderful things and provide retail and commercial opportunities for some of those great agritourism initiatives that are happening in Edwardsburg and Augusta and North Grenville, and then broader out in other townships throughout the county. So we're really excited to just carry on this path and hopefully participate in some great regional discussions moving forward.
Excellent. So the strategy, is that out yet, or is it coming soon?
So we're hoping to see council adoption come this January. We're just in the process of going over the final draft, and it's pretty exciting to see that coming. And so it'll be a great start to the new year here in Prescott.
Fabulous, exciting times, and certainly strategies, you know, it's been such a turbulent time, and we've been kind of trying to navigate the waters and while still staying strategic. So it's good that you've got an opportunity to stay focused and have direction going forward. So congratulations. I know that's a lot of work in pulling those together. And Allison's going to unmute herself. She has the rural challenge of instability, so she's not going to come on video, just sent me a quick message. So Allison, do you want to provide a little from what's happening Elizabethtown, Kittley, and working regionally?
Yes, of course. I'm hoping it's just started snowing here, so I'm hoping it's not a sign for my internet for the whole winter. For Elizabethtown, Kittley, there has been quite a bit of movement in regards to our business park. We rebuilt a roadway. There was a lot of interest during the pandemic of people who wanted to take the opportunity to start their own business or expand because of the increase of business operations that they were experiencing. The township also just fairly recently bought a significant amount of land. That one of the ideas is that we may go in another industrial park direction, but possibly housing. We're still kind of feeling things out. As for where we're going, I imagine 2022 will be both kind of conservative in how we approach things, just because of the election in particular, where our main focus will be updating what we do have. So whether it's sign replacement, repairs or maintenance on our parks, really trying to bring up the condition or some of our hidden gems, making them more well known. For Elizabethtown, Kittley, we're often known as, you know, we're by Brockville or we're by Smith Falls, but they kind of ignore a lot of what's in between. So we want to solve that issue. And one of those is also just getting our community profile updated. It's about 10 years old. That would be a big tool for people who may want to move to the area, especially for businesses. When that is done, ideally we'll have an agriculture type profile saying these are the operations in the area. Here are the businesses that support those operations. Here's what's typically produced and so on. Again, it might convince more operations to take place in the area. or ones that support those type of businesses. And it would be very timely with the international plowing match as well. And then I guess just the final comment is our Heritage Committee is taking the lead in organizing the Ontario Heritage Conference. That would be, I believe, mid-June of next year. Location is still to be determined, but they're looking at the Lynn Heritage Museum. But of course, kind of the spacing and everything is why some things are still up in the air. But I'm sure all of your heritage committees will get invitations and more information as they become available. And that would be it.
Fabulous. Well, that's great news on the Ontario Heritage Conference. Certainly great to bring different conferences into our region, and we'll need to start doing more of that to support other avenues from a tourism perspective. I'm just wondering, I had mentioned, oh, we have two that have raised hands. There we go. Darren, I see you have a raised hand, and I'm not seeing the other raised hand there. Oh, George has got a raised hand. And now I was going to go to Lisa from LeBeau if she wants to talk first, and then we can go to Darren and George. Does that make sense for everyone? Lisa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks so much, Shan, for organizing the conference, and welcome everyone within the tourism industry. LeBeau is looking forward to working with all of you. In 2022, we are very much looking forward to welcoming back our US and European customers. So we have seen very strong growth. We're currently trending at 70% positive over our 2019 numbers, so pre-COVID numbers, which is really great. We are getting 8 additional boats next year, so we will be up to a fleet of 30 boats on the Rideau Canal. So we're really excited to be getting more boats as we continue to grow. During the COVID, we were fully operational for both seasons, and we really were able to grow our staycation and local travelers. So in the next couple months, we will be focusing on promoting the Ontario tax credit that was just released for people who are looking at participating in tourism in their local regions. So I'm sure everyone's heard about that. So we're really going to be promoting that to Ontario residents to make sure that they are considering a holiday in our own backyard. One of the things that we are looking for to support our US and European travelers in 2022 is if you know of any local companies who offer airport shuttle services, we will require that again in 2022. And some of the local companies we used to use are no longer in business due to COVID or due to retirement. So if anyone is aware of any taxi services from the Ottawa airport, that will be in very high demand for us next year as well. Or if you have any retired people who are looking at getting into Uber or taxi services, we'd be more than happy to promote those services as well. So everyone can always email me too. So if you do have new local businesses that have opened along the canal, we're more than happy to include those on our website and in our communication to our agents, or even in some of the blogs that we write on a weekly basis to promote local businesses. So just feel free to email me if you have anything new that's open in your region. And it's just lisa.mclean@lebeau.com. Thank you.
Excellent. And perhaps you can put your email in the chat and then people can pull it from there. So Darren and then George is who I had next in line. And then we still have some people that haven't had a chance to jump in there. So I'll go to those next if they wish. We're getting down to our last couple of minutes, but Darren and George, quick comments?
Thanks, Anne. I just wanted to highlight, obviously, how important broadband is for us. And I know it's been talked to death, but really happy to hear about some of the investments that are coming our way. And never was it more obvious than about a year ago when we found out we had a live stream service provider operating in our business community here. So once we got to know that that business was there, we paid them a little attention. They've actually now doubled their employees and opened a satellite office in Orleans, but their sort of quote unquote head office is here in town. But they've flown under everyone's radar, which was quite interesting until the owner of the business reached out to the business community to say that he wanted to produce a live streaming program highlighting the small businesses that were here in North Grenville. So that ended up being the Love NG Live show that maybe some of you might be familiar with, but it's sort of a good indicator about you don't necessarily have to attract the big players. Sometimes, you know, with some good broadband, we can bring in some of these smaller businesses who can quickly expand. I know that their revenue sources are increasing rapidly as they're bringing new customers on board. So definitely sort of a small business success story based in technology that I think almost any one of us could have taken advantage of given the opportunity.
And great job with working with that company and promoting local business, and certainly perhaps one we need to profile in e-news. I see Ms. Clark is on the line, so might be one we want to do. George, you seem like you're going to get the last word because we're sitting with 1 minute
I'll make it
left.
quickly because we're short on time. I'm involved with the OMSPA, Ontario Maple Syrup Producers Association Task Force, and we're looking to grow maple syrup in Ontario. Quebec's mature industry, Vermont, New Brunswick and Ontario, there's so much potential. So I'm just throwing this out to the group right now that we've done our white papers, we've had our committees formed at this point, and we're hoping to move forward and perhaps work with some of the mayors, work with UN, work with Denise and some of these other people to move this forward. So I know we're short on time. I could talk for a long time, but I'll leave it at that for now.
Good job, and we'll come back to that and perhaps have a conversation because I know there's a lot of maple lovers on this line. So for now, we'll wrap this up and we'll go back to the live session, and you'll catch me there as soon as I run across the room here. So see everyone shortly.